The three-level death trap. This should not have worked. Building a city 12 meters underground with hand tools? Impossible. Yet they did it. Level 1, 3 meters deep, just deep enough that a 50-ton tank rolling overhead won't crush you. Americans drove their M48 Pattons directly over enemy headquarters and never knew. Level 2, 6 meters down, your first line of defense against small bombs. When explosions turned the jungle into a moonscape above, fighters sat safely in Level 2, waiting. Level 3, the ghost floor, 8 to 12 meters underground, deeper than a 4-story building is tall. At this depth, even B-52 carpet bombing couldn't reach you. Some sections connected directly to the Saigon River, an escape route the Americans never discovered. Here's what breaks your brain. 16,000 people lived in this underground city at peak capacity. That's a small town, buried alive, by choice. Dimensions that saved lives. 80 to 120 centimeters tall, 60 to 80 centimeters wide. In American measurements, 3 feet high, 2 feet wide. Try this. Crouch down right now. That's your ceiling for the next month, maybe the next year. The genius? Vietnamese fighters averaged 160 centimeters, 5'3". They could crouch and move. American soldiers, 175 centimeters, 5'9", plus 30 kilograms of gear. They crawled on their bellies, completely vulnerable. Couldn't turn around, couldn't shoot, couldn't escape. Original tunnels were even smaller, 70 centimeters high, 40 centimeters wide. What you see in tourist sites today? They've been widened to 120 centimeters by 80 centimeters. People still panic. The network nobody believed. 250 kilometers, that's 155 miles of hand-dug tunnels. New York to Baltimore, underground, all of it. Dug with what? Hose, shovels, bare hands. The red laterite clay was perfect, soft enough to dig, hard enough not to collapse, but still, 250 kilometers by hand. Americans called it impossible. They were standing on top of it. Underground facilities, the impossible city. Sleeping quarters, where nightmares lived. Forget beds, wooden platforms, bamboo hammocks stacked 4 layers high. A 10-meter chamber, 40 people sleeping, stacked like cargo, in complete darkness, in 40 degrees Celsius heat, 104 degrees Fahrenheit. Fighters would lie flat on the ground just to breathe. Heat rises. The cooler air, if you can call it that, stayed near the floor. Some people lived underground for weeks without surfacing, without standing up straight, sleeping in darkness so complete you couldn't see your hand in front of your face. And here's the part that haunts you, knowing that any second a bomb could collapse the ceiling and bury you alive. But you still had to sleep, because tomorrow night you fight again. Field hospitals, surgery by flashlight. The underground hospitals were miracles wrapped in horror. Surgery happened by candlelight, sometimes just flashlight. Doctors operated using instruments made from bomb shards. Yes, they melted down unexploded American bombs and turned them into scalpels. Blood transfusions? Bicycle pumps and rubber hoses. The same equipment they used to inflate tires, they used to pump blood from donor to patient. And it worked. The walls were lined with captured parachutes, attempting to create sterile environments. In 90% humidity, with dirt walls? Impossible, but they tried anyway. Malaria infected half of all tunnel fighters at any given time. Treatment? Herbs, acupuncture, honey, which has natural antiseptic properties. When they got lucky, they'd bribe South Vietnamese soldiers in Saigon to steal medicine and sell it to them. The survival rate tells the real story. Out of 16,000 people in Cu Chi tunnels, only 6,000 survived the war. The hospital saved some. Most died anyway. Meeting rooms. The deepest chambers held 20 to 30 officers planning operations on maps spread across dirt floors. This is where it gets insane. The 1968 Tet Offensive, the attack that shocked the world and changed American public opinion, was planned in these underground rooms. American intelligence headquarters sat less than 40 kilometers away. They had satellites, spy planes, millions of dollars in surveillance equipment. The Vietcong planned the largest coordinated attack of the war in chambers 12 meters underground, right beneath American boots, and nobody knew. Weapons storage. Entire chambers dedicated to storing weapons and ammunition. Most of it American-made. The irony was brutal. When American bombs failed to explode, and thousands did, fighters would dig them up, crack them open, drain the explosive powder, and reuse it in their own landmines. Bomb casings became cooking pots, shell fragments became surgical tools, parachutes became hospital linings. Nothing was wasted. Everything that tried to kill them became a tool for survival. One more thing the Americans never understood. Their own weapons were being used against them, fashioned in underground workshops they couldn't find, by an enemy they couldn't see. Food storage. In 90% humidity, food rots in days, not weeks, days. The main food? Not rice, too scarce, cassava root or tapioca, eaten with peanut salt. That's it, same meal. Day after day, year after year. When Agent Orange destroyed crops, they ate tree roots and leaves. During heavy bombing, when they couldn't surface, they lived on dried foods in sealed containers. Storage chambers had to protect everything from constant dampness: food, weapons materials, medical supplies, documents, all of it rotting in real time if not carefully sealed. Classrooms. Schools underground in complete darkness. New recruits trained in combat tactics on candlelight, political education sessions to maintain morale when reality was crushing it. Some tunnels had small theaters. Performing troupes would travel through the network offering entertainment, revolutionary performances by candlelight, propaganda films on makeshift screens. Why? Because without hope, without culture, without some fragment of normal life, the human mind breaks. They were fighting a war against their own psychology as much as against the Americans. Cooking. One man changed everything. His name was Hoang Kham, military chef, 1951. The problem? Cooking underground creates smoke. One column of smoke rising from the jungle equals American bombers within minutes. Hundreds died this way. Hoang Kham invented something that should be in engineering textbooks: the smokeless stove system. Here's how it worked. The stove sat in a chamber with a large opening covered by leaves. Below it, a smoke cellar improved airflow. But the genius part, smoke didn't go up. It traveled horizontally through underground chambers, sometimes 30 meters away from the actual cooking site. As smoke passed through these earth chambers, the soil filtered it, cooled it, dispersed it. By the time it reached the surface, it emerged gradually through multiple vents disguised as termite mounds, looking like morning mist. The double stove setup cooked rice on one side, soup on the other, feeding dozens efficiently. This invention became standard equipment across the entire Vietnamese military. It's still used today. One chef's solution to one deadly problem saved thousands of lives. Medical teams also use the boiling water to sterilize surgical instruments. One stove system, multiple life-saving functions.
Imagine this. You're underground, thirsty. You look up, surface water everywhere, but you can't drink it. Agent Orange, poison. So what do? Dig deeper into hell. They built wells deep underground, tapping water the Americans couldn't contaminate. Some tunnels connected straight to the Saigon River through underwater passages. Think about that. You're a U.S. soldier, you're watching the river, and beneath you, fighters are swimming through it, inside the earth. But here's the nightmare nobody mentions. Thousands of people, one bathroom, underground, for months. The smell? You can't escape it. Waste had to be carried out at night in buckets, in darkness, past traps, past Americans. And the diseases? Worse than bullets. Dysentery ripped through them, parasites, malaria. 16,000 people went into those tunnels. Want to know how many came out alive? 6,000. Disease killed more than bombs ever did. Life in the dark. Now imagine, you don't know if it's day or night, because there is no day, no night, just darkness. You sleep when it hits 40 degrees Celsius above you. You lie flat, breathing cooler air near the ground. You come out at night, maybe to fight, maybe to check hidden crops, maybe to gather intel. But during bombing campaigns, you stay down for weeks. No sunlight, can't stand up, can't breathe fresh air. When you finally come up, you can't see. Temporary blindness, your eyes forgot what light is. Your mind? That's worse. But then something beautiful happens. They held weddings down there. Yeah, weddings, in chambers lit by candles. Couples promising forever, knowing tomorrow might not come. Falling in love while bombs shook the earth above their heads. And babies? Born in those tunnels. Some never saw sunlight for their first weeks of life. Born in candlelight, surgery by bicycle pumps. Those babies? Some are alive today. Born in hell, raised in darkness, and they survived. They even had entertainment, theaters, performers traveling tunnel to tunnel, singing, dancing, by candlelight. Why? Because if you lose your humanity, what are you even fighting for? You're not alone down there. Rats, hundreds of them, crawling over you while you sleep, eating your food, your waste, anything. Snakes, bamboo vipers, cobras, slithering through passages in total darkness. You don't see them, you feel them, right before they bite. Scorpions, centipedes the size of your finger, fire ants, spiders. Every nightmare creature Vietnam has to offer. But here's where it gets genius. They turn them into weapons. Bamboo viper, hung at neck height. You're an American soldier crawling in pitch black. You feel something touch your face. It strikes. Now what? Shoot it? Every Vietcong in the area hears you. Don't shoot? Venom kills you in 15 minutes. Lose-lose. Trapdoors release scorpions onto you. Nature itself became the enemy.
The invisible maze. Finding an entrance, good luck. 60 centimeters by 60 centimeters, the size of a pizza box, hidden under cooking pots, rice bags, leaves. Americans brought dogs. The Viet Cong covered entrances with pig shit. Dogs went crazy, useless. Some entrances, underwater. You dive, swim through flooded tunnels, emerge inside. A fully equipped American soldier with 70 pounds of gear can't follow. They brought satellites, millions in technology. The Vietnamese had knowledge. Knowledge won. Now the traps. Punji pits. You're crawling. Suddenly, you drop, land on sharpened bamboo stakes. But it gets worse. Stakes covered in human feces. Poison. Even if you survive the fall, infection kills you anyway. Tripwires. Some are obvious. You spot them, avoid them. You feel smart. Then you hit the second wire, the one they wanted you to miss. Boom. Grenade. Often your own grenades, taken from dead soldiers, used against you. Snake traps. Total darkness. Something brushes your neck. Fangs sink in. Shoot? Alert everyone. Don't shoot? Dead in minutes. Your brain breaks. Every step might be your last. Paranoia becomes the weapon. False walls. You're crawling, belly on the ground, vulnerable. The wall beside you? It's not a wall. It explodes. A fighter bursts through, knife in hand. You can't turn, can't fight back. You just die. Vertical shafts. You see light above. Finally, an exit. Hope. You start climbing. At the top, a fighter, waiting. He drops a grenade, slams the door, seals it. Everyone below dies. The cruelty isn't the grenade, it's the hope. The Americans tried everything: bombs, gas, flooding, dogs, tunnel rats, the most dangerous job in the war. Nothing worked. Picture this. You're an American soldier patrolling the jungle. Suddenly, gunfire. Your buddy drops, then another. You turn to shoot back. They're gone. Underground. Vanished. You're standing on top of them, hundreds of enemy fighters right beneath your boots. You can't see them, can't fight them, can't kill what you can't find. How do you fight ghosts? Then came January 30th, 1968. For months, they moved thousands of fighters through the tunnels, completely invisible. Then they emerged. Over 100 cities attacked simultaneously in one night. The American embassy in Saigon attacked from underground. If they could reach the embassy, nowhere was safe. The Tet Offensive, planned in underground conference rooms, coordinated through 250 kilometers of tunnels, launched from invisible doors. It changed everything. American public opinion flipped. The war shifted. Because you can't defeat an enemy you can't see. Cu Chi Tunnel sat 40 kilometers from Saigon, the most bombed place on Earth. They never fell. Connected to the Ho Chi Minh Trail, weapons, supplies, fighters flowing from North Vietnam straight to Saigon. Americans knew it existed. They couldn't stop it. You can't bomb what you can't see. You can't destroy what's underground. The truth. A network of hand-dug tunnels defeated the most powerful military in the world. Not with better weapons, not with technology, with knowledge, patience, and the will to survive at any cost. 250 kilometers dug with shovels, by hand. The Americans called it impossible. They were standing on top of it. If this story gave you chills, smash that subscribe button, because history's darkest survival stories are just getting started. Comment below, could you survive down there? Drop your honest answer.